welcome to this wonderful chat here. I am so excited to share this with you. You've been a very important part of this journey with me. And
Really
thank you for taking that test.
Oh my God, yeah.
That was fun, wasn't it?
I learned things I'd never learned before, but I also saw things in black and white that I'd known to some level about myself for years. But what's remarkable about that to me is that I've been a profile junkie for a lot of years. I'm certified in 3 of them.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to find something new. Yeah. And it was new and insightful and helpful and surprising.
Well, good. Well, you certainly tested out on the side B legacies of both being optimistic and trustworthy. But today we're going to talk about trustworthy. You got it?
Yeah. So, optimistic is something I'm called often. I don't think I've ever been accused of being trustworthy before, but it feels great.
Well, it's so important because really, when we look at trustworthy behavior, we're looking at essential behaviors and traits like being collaborative, planning, and once challenge. We're also looking at the desirable traits of being helpful, enlisting cooperation, and team. So those are the traits that are involved in this trustworthy. And when I speak of it, I generally mean being able to be reliable, have that ability to be honest and truthful. What does it mean to you to show up each day to being trustworthy to those that you serve?
Here's what hit me when you were explaining that to me, Paula. I love now that this came up because the word didn't have the same connotation to me, right? Like, when you just hear trustworthy, it means I'm not going to lie about it, right? That's what I teach my kids. But what you're describing and how that helps a leader pull together a team is a trait I call integrity.
Yeah.
And a lot of people look at integrity as do the right thing, make the right choice. I can trust you to make the right choice. But I think of it as the next level. And to me, it's about being honest and meaningful with your word. So to me, integrity is if I say it, I do it. If I say it, I do it. If I say it, I do it. Okay. And in practice, what that means is not so much worrying about the do part, but the say part.
Right.
Okay. If I tell my kids we're going to go to the park, I don't care if it's midnight, I'm taking them to the park. So what I learned as a very tired working mother was quit telling the kids you're going to take them to the park. Like, you're careful with what you commit to.
Right.
I'm never going to be one of those friends that says, hey, let's get together. If I say we're going to get together, I'm calling you to book it. I'm going to book it right then before we leave.
Right.
So I just don't like the commitments that people throw out and they don't mean. That bothers me.
And they don't follow it.
And they don't follow it, and it's meaningless. And so my word is meaningful. And I have done that on purpose. And that makes sense to me now because people trust that I'm not going to bullshit them.
Right.
And I think the other part of this is that, which again goes with trustworthy and integrity as a team leader, is that they trust that I have their best interests at heart.
And that leads into our next question. Exactly. Because of that trustworthiness in business, the side A trait is being able to set appropriate goals and inspire and motivate your teams to achieve them.
Yeah.
So describe to me as a business owner of not only Factor 8, but Girls Club and the Sales Bar, what are your first steps in planning your overall goals? Oh, I know that's a tough one.
Question, right? It's such a loaded question.
I know.
I think if I'm really, really honest about it, I'm not going to take you through the steps because there's a lot of steps, but most of the goals I set are about looking where the product or the person is and what's realistic to achieve next. So it's a relentless pursuit of better. And that can be exhausting. That's not for everybody, right? That's the downside to the team. Or it's the upside because it's not, hey, we're going to take it from 0 to 2,000 customers. There's the goal, go. It's okay. Well, here's where we are. What seems possible? And what do you think? And it's collaborative in that. And then my job is usually to push it a little bit further.
Right.
A little nudge
Stretch
further.
it.
Can we do a little better? Can we do even more? Wouldn't it be great if? Have you thought about? And I think that's sometimes I give myself a hard time about it, Paula, right? Sometimes I feel like it takes longer this way. And wouldn't it be easier and clearer for everybody if I just came out and said, I'm the leader and here are the goals? And I've talked myself into that a few times, right? Because as you're doing it this bottom up way, it's messy and takes a long time and it's frustrating, right?
You're right. For you, but for your people, they're inspired and motivated.
Exactly. So I only learned by messing it up. So I tried. This is a funny story. At the beginning of this year, I was like, all right, you know what? At the end of the year, I'm always taking stock and I start my next year planning in Q4 at the beginning, right? So it's coming, I'm dreaming and what could it be and what should it be? And I try to get back and get out of the weeds as much as possible to get this perspective and what needs to happen. And I was feeling pulled down into it. So I started the year with, here are some proclamations and here's what it's going to look like. And here we go. And I did this top down and here's what I want to have happen. And to do that, what I really wanted was like a dashboard. I just need to see the controls, right? I'm not a trainer anymore. I'm running 3 companies. So help me get out of this. And hey, leaders, I want this in a weekly report.
Exactly.
Okay? And 2 of my 3 leaders have worked with me for 5 years. And the conversations they must have had with each other was, I don't know what she's smoking, but well, what are you going to do? Well, I think I'm just going to wait until it happens in the meeting. What are you going to do? But the 3rd leader was brand new. And I really screwed up that relationship. She came in with like this, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, super literal, like weird. And I finally sat down and I was like, are you waiting for me to catch you do something wrong? Because you seem on edge. Like it's not the same person I hired. What's going on here? Because you seem afraid of me and I've known you for many, many years and that's not what I want. Oh, well, I just want to meet my objectives and Guess what? I'm going to give you your MBO no matter what. You're building, consider it done. Take that off your list. Now what? It was frustrating for her and confusing to her because that top-down direction was not the culture of the company. And it took 3 months to undo that damage.
Did she take it personally?
Well, it wasn't on her. It was on me, you know, like she came in and adapted to a more authoritative culture and started twisting herself in knots to hit my requests.
Your expectations.
And my expectations, right? And so what I learned was maybe somewhere in between is better. Maybe go back to the old way, right? Like it really stressed her out coming into that. And how she adapted to make it happen really changed the company culture. And I feel like we're probably just now evening that out and we're all on the same page. And it's 6 months later.
You know, that's good though, but that's where you took notice and that trustworthy is so important. You know, I look at, and why I call trustworthy the rhythm guitarist is because the rhythm guitarist is the supporter to the drums, yet provides rhythm and harmony as well. And I see that in the collaborative and the things that you're doing with Girls Club. You know, why, give me a quick reason why you started Girls Club.
I have 800 reasons. And the first one I'm going to give you is analogous with what we talked about previously with trust and trustworthiness.
Exactly.
I started Girls Club because I got sick of talking about it. I got sick of being asked to sit on some ladies panel luncheon where we all just talk about the problems and then we have the same conversation next year. Right? So I was like, wait, no, I'm going to start taking action because I hate talking and not doing. So I did it. And the other reason was that I see and saw so many women, especially, not living out their full potential due to fear. And I think that I just wanted to help more women feel confident and successful and take what we were doing for all sellers at Factor 8
Yeah.
But add a layer to that in Girls Club with addressing some of the self-confidence issues and imposter syndrome issues and lack of role models and network that happens when you're a sole anything.
Right.
Right. And for me, it was a woman in sales.
Yeah.
And so like to bring us together to collaborate cross company, cross industry, cross state, cross country has been so fulfilling.
And, it's beautiful because I think everyone that I've talked to in generation 1, 2, and 3 have all, they trust you. They trust you to take them on this journey and all the things that you're doing. And it's amazing that you're starting with mid-level frontline managers all the way up to senior leaders. And
yeah, it is amazing to that, right? I mean, individual contributors to senior leaders are all coming together. Yeah. So I didn't realize that it took trust until I dug in and were a part of the conversations and the learning and the authenticity and vulnerability that we are getting in this group. Absolutely is due to all of us trusting each other. So, and that's beautiful.
That's it. We weren't getting it anywhere else. So kudos to you for that.
Well, and it doesn't happen without mentors like you. So thank you.
Well, this is you here. All right, my friend.
Wait a minute. Are you sure it's me? Because I think you have an award on your desk.
I do. Thank you both.
I may have started it, but I got no lucite. There's nothing.
Oh, you are amazing. Now, what's your favorite song to inspire your people and generate that motivation?
Okay, I have never played music for my people at Factor 8 or Girls Club or the sales bar. I have done it in the past on sales teams. Cannot remember what it was. So when I think about what music I play, I think about what to inspire myself. But the truth is, I do have people, and they're 2 little boys. They're 9 and 10 years old. And we have a lot of kitchen dance parties in our underwear.
I love it.
And what I play most often for that is Walking on Sunshine.
Katrina and the Waves.
Katrina and the Waves. You can't be in a bad mood, right? When you're listening to that. I had a horrible start to my day at 6:30 this morning. And I needed a reset before I got on with an employee. And that's what I played.
Music can do that. It provides clarity and focus and actually creativity. So
right. And this morning it provided a palate cleanse.
Yeah, exactly. That too, my friend. Well, thank you, Lauren Bailey, for being on here. It has been a pleasure. You are always an absolute gem.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.